Welcome to Rage You Nerds, I'm Mr. Cack, and today's video was an interesting one. There's a series out on Peacock called Mrs. Davis. Myself and Al are hooked on this series. There's a mystery afoot, there's a lot of clues, a lot of red herrings, and a lot of uncertainty. And all that we ask is that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, you may not be smart enough to do that, so I guess we'll find out by how many likes there are at the end of this. Takes a brave person to like and subscribe. I just don't know if y'all have it in you. Alright, we hope you enjoy, and please leave a comment down below what some of your favorite theories or what you believe to be true about the Mrs. Davis series as we are entering the last few episodes of the season. See you later. Love ya. Alright. Okay, there's another show that you've asked me to watch, and I went from at first not feeling like I wanted to watch it because I was like, this looks kind of goofy. I don't know if it's gonna fit. To now, I could probably teach a class on like what theories and what mindset I have after watching the episodes and like trying to figure out what the hell this story is trying to tell us. But Al, would you like to discuss Mrs. Davis? I mean, do you want to just set the scene for us?
So we have Lizzie, who now goes by Simone because she's become a nun, and she became a nun to marry God,
Jesus,
or marry Jesus.
Jesus.
Sorry, marry Jesus, and she had a friend that they have shared a liver with. When her mom shot her when she broke into the closet with a booby trap. And she met this friend who they shared a liver because she got shot in the liver and he got, I guess, trampled by a bull or something.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just a bull accident. I'm not really sure.
And so they became friends. They dated for a little while, and he's apparently a rich inheritance guy, and he was going to prove himself by riding another bull. And so that's when she prayed to Jesus and God, and he got off the bull and she became a nun because she wanted to marry Jesus.
She wanted to have sex with Jesus.
Well, the show starts out with a flashback to the Knights Templar and the Holy Grail, and like I'm a big Knights Templar person and like to read about that kind of stuff and everything. So watching this, I was excited for, and then it just went all in a different direction. I don't know. I don't know what to say to describe what is happening now, because first of all, it would give too much information away, but it's just chaotic and very comical.
Oops. When you asked me last week to watch it, or I guess 2 weeks ago, and then we talked about it very briefly last week, I was like, honestly, I'm not sure, but it kind of gives me this vibe that it's got the same chaotic energy as Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. Yeah. And it does. it does. So I can understand why you're having some issues, but really, Al, this is just your age-old story of a quest to get the Holy Grail with a nun who is married literally to Jesus, who runs a diner, who spends her time receiving messages from Jesus to stop wayward magicians because she comes from a family of magicians and had lost her father because a AI program that controls pretty much everything is involved in the death of her father. And she may or may not have been kidnapped by her ex-lover's secret underground resistance group who is trying to stop the AI, and tricked her by using a ruse of German actors to fake kidnap her. I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
I mean, there's a lot to keep up with, though. Like, because I mean, you've got one story over here with the Holy Grail and everything else. And then over here, you have the story of the AI.
Yeah. Well,
And-
so I mean, like, if you want to come from like an academic standpoint, you have the whole, the biggest thing here, and it depends on how you want to boil it down. It can either be a discussion of free will. I made an article today and posted it on our WordPress about free will, and how that associates with the show. You could also go the route that's adjacent to free will, which is manipulation. This show is all about different levels of manipulation. We see the very obvious and very cruel manipulations, right? We see magicians trying to extort a man by faking a run off the road via cow beheading and get arrested by cops and bribe them to another very simple thing. You have the manipulation of the AI using an algorithm to basically put things in place to manipulate the tracks and paths of people. And then you have the very fundamental, the very not fun manipulation. And that's that from a parent to a child. Like, that was probably one of the hardest, like, gut punches, was seeing her father crying and realizing that he's planting the seeds to get her to do what he wants, and that's open the door and go into the mother's secret workshop. And then she gets bolted in the gut with a crossbow for her troubles. And like, the mom calls it out. The mom's like, that was a force. You should have realized that your dad was manipulating you and doing that. But this whole show is about manipulation. Everyone is being manipulated, or everything is being manipulated. So I've started to try to see, is there a way to read between the lines here? Yeah. Are we ultimately being manipulated? So then what aren't we noticing? What is the con against us? Like, eventually is the surprise twist going to be that we've been assholes all along for watching this show? Like, I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Which you don't know, it's wrote by ChatGPT.
Now, honestly, I think that that's a very good analysis. I think you could go through and just talk about how absurd each episode is, and how, other than like the wafting of a common through line of, oh yeah, the Holy Grail, like, outside of that, the makeup of each episode, you can't tell me that probably wasn't based on an AI that just consumed a lot of MacGuffin quests and was like, here you go. And maybe that's the whole twist of this. Maybe we're supposed to be led to believe that this was made by an algorithm, when actually it's just people trying to mimic an algorithm, and does it do it very well. It's made by the people that did The Leftovers and Lost, but The Leftovers I love. It was a series that came on HBO. It was about the rapture and how and we were stuck with the people that didn't get raptured up, if you choose to believe it, the rapture happened. Yeah. Either way, half the population disappeared. The other half was left as leftovers and just had to figure shit out. It's dang good. It is dang good show. I think it had 2 seasons, maybe 3, but for sure 2 seasons on HBO. Awesome show. And if they decide to lean into that, where we've been having this goofy chuckle, ha ha ha, hurrah moment, what if the big twist at the end of this is Simone didn't make it through the arrow in her gut? Like, what if this is like Simone, living out in a personal heaven or afterlife or coma? Like, there's so much nuttiness to all of this, that the whole rug getting pulled us out of the end and getting sucker punched with here's the very emotional thing. And she's just been surviving with, like, maybe an AI program has been helping her through her coma or something. Like, I wouldn't put it past that shit to happen either. But there's just so many things that are unknown right now. But the one thing that's certain is that everything is being manipulated.
Correct.
That there is a parallel line being drawn between a manipulative AI algorithm and religion, if we're just being honest. I think there's a story being told there. And you know what? Again, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this we find out that the AI is God, or God is the AI.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be surprising to me. Because right now, I'm no longer caring about the Holy Grail. I know they're going to keep carrying that story on for a couple more episodes, but that's not this show. This show is not about the Holy Grail. It is about that. They let you know in episode 1, it's a MacGuffin. The guy, I forget what his name is, with the bleach blonde spiked hair that's in the Resistance thing. He's like, it's the most bloody cliche MacGuffin in all of the MacGuffin quest. I mean, and everyone's being manipulated. And the one I feel the worst for is Wiley.
Yeah.
The cowboy guy. Because he was manipulated as a child without knowing it. And you know, it was for his benefit, but at the same time, he could have died. To where an accident was caused and he was sent to the hospital. Now, I do have questions if that cowboy that came in told the truth, which then leads to the next part, is that he and Lizzie, now Simone, were having a good, beautiful life together. They were enjoying each other. They were going to go to Alaska. He was going to give up the majority of his money and just take what he needed to go move to Alaska. He goes into the meeting with the trust fund, and then conveniently enough, at this very moment, is when this cowboy comes in to tell him this story that, oh, actually, this was all manipulated by your parents to have this happen. Okay, so what's the truth behind that? Whether the guy actually was paid to do that or not doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What this guy was paid to do was to convince Wiley not to give up his inheritance. So why, though? Why? But Wiley just keeps getting reminded that he's someone that just wants to know that he matters. And he keeps getting the rug pulled out from under him where the things he does, you know, he just doesn't get to accomplish what he wants to accomplish because he either chicken shits out like the bull, which no defense, like, or no skeptic, like I would too. I'm not riding that bull.
I'm Jezebel.
But as a kid being told that, like, you know, this thing that you survived and now you got this liver and you live this happy life, actually, you were handed that, you know, we cheated you. And then now he does the Excalibur battle. But even he didn't have a choice in the Excalibur battle. I don't know if you noticed everything going up to that point, but everything, it's basically like Facebook advertisements for that episode leading up to the Excalibur battle. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just sees that he wants to be manly. And he just sees these reminders, or there's this announcement of being a man or the king or this stuff. And he has the whole just wanting to impress his lady friend. All of this is circulating and boiling. And you could tell that he was tricked into doing the Excalibur battle. Why? I don't know. Does there have to be a reason? But he was manipulated to do it.
It was fantastic, though.
Yeah, I firmly believe there's going to be a big rug pull, and we're going to find out that the AI isn't really an AI. What it could be, I don't know. Probably a person being a jackass. Who cares? Again, that's not what's important. What's important is that we understand that these people are being tricked, and therefore we have to feel like, are we being tricked as an audience? Because I feel like we are. There's something that we're missing that's there in front of our face. I wrote in the article I wrote that this is a magic show. We are watching a magic show. So we're being told, you shouldn't trust us, which is kind of like the nothing up my sleeve, or this is a regular glass container. Magicians do that to throw you off. Yeah. They do that so you fix that. Oh, fuck you, you've got something in that sleeve. I'm going to watch it. And then they do something with their other hand, or something comes in behind them and you don't pay attention to that because they've directed your eyes to what they want you to look at this entire time. And so there's got to be something. Something is there that we're missing, Al.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get it in the next few episodes for sure.
I'm going to be so pissed off if this season ends and it legitimately is a quest for a Holy Grail and killing off an AI. That, honestly, the actual plot line, if that's what this ends up being, will be the most disappointing shit for me ever. Because I want something more mind messery. I want to be made to feel a fool.
Okay. So the next 3 episode titles are, you ready?
Uh-huh.
Episode 6, Allison Treasures, A Southern California Story.
All right.
Episode 7, Great Gatsby, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
Episode 8, The Final Intercut, So I'm Your Horse.
Okay, so there's got to be something with the episode titles then.
You know, because episode 3 is A Baby with Wings, A Sad Boy with Wings, and a Great Helmet.
A baby with wings, that's Wiley. A sad boy with wings, that's Wiley. And a great helmet, which also Wiley had a great helmet.
Yeah.
Beautiful things that come with madness. There's gotta be something that we're missing, Al.
I know.
I believe it in my heart of heart.
I did like how they had a Schrodinger in there with a cat.
Yeah, I like that Arthur and his cat Apollo are Schrodinger and Schrodinger's cat. And I know there's easy stuff to see, right? That it's very easy to see that the 2023 in Mrs. Davis is very much a parody of where we're currently at. Yeah. Where AI is challenging enough to the point that Elon Musk and the government are asking for a 6-month pause on ChatGPT. That every time an AI grows sentience and anyone speaks out about it, the program is shut down and that person is fired. Like we're currently living in a moment now. And then the more vileness of it all is that, you know, we're all being algorithmed. Like whether you realize it or not. I mean, you can be super aware of it. It doesn't matter. It's still happening. Every time you go onto Facebook, every other thing that you've clicked or talked about starts to show up as advertisements on your Facebook. Anytime you go to TikTok, you get a specifically to you tailored list of videos that the algorithm thinks that you want to watch based on what you've already clicked on, looked at, or given any attention to. So, I mean, we're already at a point now where a lot of the things that seem outlandish and goofy in Mrs. Davis are a much more overblown, hyperinflated version of the reality that we live in, where an AI and a bunch of coding that just makes up a bullshit algorithm or algorithms are pretty much trying to domineer every aspect of us to lead us to an outcome.
Yeah.
And that outcome could be buy these shoes. That outcome could be vote for this person. That outcome could be work till you're dead. Like all of these things are programmed and trying to be administered to us, and they work to a large degree because if you try to go against it, you look like a crazy nun on horseback, and eventually Germans kidnap you that aren't really Germans, and one of them gets pushed off a roof, but he's not really pushed off a roof, and then you end up going to the Vatican and free the Pope because a doppelganger Pope has taken over. You know, simple stories like that, Al. I just now want to sit down and see what other people are saying about Mrs. Davis and just see.
Okay, so the cat is still alive because the mouse it ate.
Yes. But it's also Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
So of course it's alive when it's there. It's alive when you see it, or maybe it's dead. We don't know. Like, you never know until you actually go to the island. You don't know if it's alive or dead.
It's actually been a great sci-fi show.
It's been damn interesting. I did not expect to get caught up in it, and then I basically binged it all in one night. I stayed up to like 2 a.m. watching it by myself, just so that way I could just get to the end of it. And by the end of it, I was like, freak, I need to see more. Like, it ends on a cliffhanger. Like, yeah. I wish I would have let this series build out for a couple more episodes. Something that we haven't even talked about is the fact that every now and then Simone will ask something or say something, and we get this phrase: 1042 redirecting.
Yeah.
And then she'll say other things that we get no context on, and the people who are acting as a proxy to the AI have no idea what she's talking about, and they just repeat stuff and kind of look confused. I just want to know. I just want to know the secrets. I must know. I must quest for this.
So, Angel. I've looked up what does 1042 mean, and it says angel number 1042, natural laws. Angel number 1042 signifies that you will reach your destination depending on the laws you set for yourself and your sharpness. Things you should know about 1042 is that your future is predictable.
Oh.
Basically, depending on the things you do now.
see, I suggested that in another post that the 42 and 1042 might refer to the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything from a supercomputer deep thought. And the 10th letter of the alphabet is J, which might also refer to Jesus. Oh, so Damon Lindelof, the creator of this, Lost, and The Leftovers, has used the number 42 before in Lost as a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide. Not sure if he'd repeat himself, but yeah, I bet he would. Apparently, Lizzie's childhood house number was 2000, was the 2564. Seen at the 6-minute, almost 7-minute mark in episode 2 when she and Monty arrive home on Halloween. So that's her home address. The 2564. That was another number where all the nuns were bought out by the AI and all received $2,564 via like an Amazon card or a Visa gift card to go and relocate. And Simone made a point of saying that that specific number was chosen because of her. Until we saw her mom, I thought her mom might have been the AI. I thought her mom might have been the one coming up. And again, I still firmly believe that there is a magic trick to all of this.
Yeah.
Because at the core of all of this, Lizzie's hunting down magicians. But you know what, Al? I also am not going to be blown away if it all comes out that Lizzie's the mastermind behind all of this. And why, I don't know. But like, at the same time, maybe it's just a dick on everyone. I don't know anymore. There's something that we're missing, and I want to know what it is. I just found out that there is a Mrs. Davis Reddit. I'm gonna have to join that, and I'm gonna have to learn more about Mrs. Davis, the TV series.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yep, I am gonna be so freaking lost on all of this. Oh man, I'm gonna spend a lot of time reading that. Oh man. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for next week is not only watch episode 6 when it comes out, but I'm gonna start reading through some of these subreddit stuff.
Smash.
And if I find me a good theory for us to latch upon, we may talk about that next week too.
Sounds good.